time. But, knowledge is power, and that is exactly what we're going to build together today. We're going to walk through a clear, totally reassuring guide to understanding exactly what a heart attack is, how it was treated in the hospital, and what your treatment plan looks like moving forward. So the very first thing we really need to talk about is this. What exactly happened to your heart? When you're rushed to the hospital, everything moves so incredibly fast, and the medical terminology they use can literally sound like a foreign language. But understanding the physical event that actually took place inside your body, well, that's step one in taking back control of your recovery. So let's dive right in. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. How your heart works. 2. Anatomy of a heart attack. 3. Fixing the blockage. And 4. Your vital daily medications. Okay, starting with section 1, how your heart works, the ultimate pumping machine. Your cardiovascular system has some incredible complex plumbing. At its core, your heart is just a muscular organ, and its whole job is to pump blood, carrying the essential oxygen and nutrients that your body needs to survive. Now, the main pumping chamber, the part doing the real heavy lifting, is called your left ventricle. When this left ventricle contracts, it shoots oxygen-rich blood out to your body through a massive primary artery called the aorta. Connected right to your aorta are these smaller pathways called coronary arteries. Blood flows from the aorta directly into these coronary arteries, constantly supplying your heart muscle itself with the oxygen and nutrients it needs to keep beating. That brings us right to section 2, anatomy of a heart attack. Or, simply put, what happens when that vital plumbing gets blocked? Let's walk through this chronological chain reaction step by step. Fundamentally, a heart attack is caused by a blockage of blood flow to your heart muscle. Step 1. Over time, a fatty substance called plaque builds up inside those coronary arteries we just talked about. Step 2. If this plaque suddenly becomes disrupted, well, the body reacts. Step 3. A blood clot forms right at that site. This clot can severely worsen the narrowing of the artery, or it might even lead to a sudden, complete blockage, totally stopping the blood flow down the line. And finally, step 4. Because that blockage prevents oxygen and nutrients from getting past it, that specific part of the heart is starved. Without oxygen, the heart muscle in that area actually starts to die. Now, damage to part of your heart muscle is a heart attack. But in hospital, it's officially called a myocardial infarction, or MI for short. Let's break that down. Myo means muscle. Cardial refers to the heart, and infarction just means tissue death due to a lack of blood supply. So if you heard your doctor and mention your MI, they were simply saying that a specific area of your heart muscle was temporarily cut off from the blood flow it desperately needed. Let's look at how the doctors actually repair this in section 3, fixing the blockage. We'll focus on the hospital interventions. To rescue that damaged area and get the blood flowing again, your heart doctor likely recommended one of 2 major procedures. The first is a coronary angioplasty. During this, they guide a tiny balloon-tipped catheter right inside your blocked coronary artery, and then they inflate it to physically push the blockage open. Usually, this involves placing a stent too. A stent is this thin metal mesh that stays behind to act like a scaffold, permanently propping that artery open. It's pretty amazing. Alternatively, you might have had a coronary artery bypass graft, often called a CAB. This is a surgical procedure where they actually reroute the plumbing altogether. They take veins or arteries from other parts of your body and use them to bypass the blocked areas of your coronary arteries completely. Both of these are incredible ways to restore that vital blood flow. Which leads us to section 4, your vital daily medications. This right here is your new normal. Before you left the hospital, your healthcare provider almost certainly prescribed a few different medications. Let's talk about what they actually do. First, oral antiplatelet therapy. This has a super specific job. It helps prevent your blood platelets from sticking together, which protects you from forming any new blood clots. Next, you might have gotten beta blockers. These are great because they lower your heart rate and blood pressure, basically taking the stress and heavy workload right off your recovering heart. Then we have drugs like ACE inhibitors, that's angiotensin converting enzyme, or ARBs, angiotensin receptor blockers. They might also use calcium channel blockers. If you were prescribed these, their job is to lower your blood pressure to a safe, manageable level. And finally, statins. These work directly in your liver to reduce the amount of cholesterol your body is producing. Now, speaking of statins, there is a catch. If you are prescribed statins, you absolutely must remember that they are a team player. They only do their best work when they're paired up with a low-fat diet. Think of it like this. The medication reduces the cholesterol your body makes internally, while your healthy dietary choices reduce the cholesterol you bring in externally. Together, they create this powerful two-pronged defense to keep your newly cleared arteries safe. I cannot stress this next point enough. When it comes to your recovery, absolute consistency is key. It is absolutely crucial to stay on your medications exactly as your physician prescribes them, even if you are feeling better. Seriously, do not go off your medication unless the healthcare professional who prescribes them specifically tells you to. When you start feeling better, and trust me, you will, it's a sign that the medications are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, not a sign that you don't need them anymore. Your internal engine relies on these specific tools every single day to run smoothly and safely. So, we've covered the amazing mechanics of your heart, exactly what physically happened during your MI, how the hospital interventions completely fixed the plumbing, and the specific jobs of your new daily medications. Which leaves us with one final, super important question to think about. How will you commit to your new daily routine to protect your heart? Your medical team did their part to open the blocked artery, and now the long-term recovery is completely in your hands. Take your medications, embrace that new diet, and trust in the incredible resilience of your own body. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, here's to your continued healing and a strong, healthy heart.